Man, y'all make sure y'all share this video and make sure y'all subscribe to All Viral Access Media. You know the vibes.
Yeah. They thought we forgot, but we never forget. This one's for the rules. We built this land from dust and tears. 400 years, and we still here. They write new rules, but they don't see. Every freedom they got came off you and me. We planted seeds, they took the bloom. We lit the flame, they left the room. But we back now, no disguise. The spirit's woke, we realize. All we want is what we earn. That sweat and blood, yeah, that table turn. You can't buy culture, can't fake that fire. This is our day. This is alright. We happy. Say it loud, say it strong. We the heartbeat that's been here all along. Foundational Black Americans, stand tall. We ain't begging for nothing, we built it all. Born from pain and grace, you can see the truth written in our face. We the soul, the sound, to fight the flame. Foundational Black Americans, say our name. They love our rhythm, but they dodge our blues. Use our voice when it fits their news. They take our sound, but not our scars. We the backbone, we the scars. Now the veil is gone, the mask is clear. We see the game, we know what's here. No more silence, no more lies. We lift that flag and watch it rise. Rise up. We the ones that made this nation breathe. Our pain turn to power. Our roots are trees. We know world. It's rhythm and grace now, and now we reclaiming our rightful place. Can't copy courage, can't steal pain. You can't inherit soul by changing names. Our story ain't done, it's the revival. We guard the gate, it's about survival. We FBA, say it proud, say it loud. The world dances on what we vow. Foundational Black Americans, still we stand, still we fight, still we demand. Every block, every song, we've been right here all along. The soul of a people strong and free. Foundational Black Americans. We the first, we the rule, we the fire. Still rising, still here. Foundational Black Americans.
This is about our history, our truth, and our legacy.
We must protect our future by any means.
We need an FBA mindset to achieve real equity and justice.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, Thorough Black Talk family. Look at everybody back and rocking out with us on the Brooklyn Bridge. We've been off for a little while, but we back and we strong. We back and we strong, just like the Knicks. If you missed it, you missed it. I tell you, I'm glad to be back with y'all up on the Brooklyn Bridge. Hope everybody is doing well. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's get some shout outs real quick. Hello, Davis. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Glad you back on the Brooklyn Bridge. Rocking with us. We truly, truly, truly appreciate you. Yes. Olive Solutions. What's happening, Chi-Town? In the building. Glad you rocking out with us on the Brooklyn Bridge. Sister Aruba, 927. Dougie Diamond TV Mod in the building. What's happening, sis? You made it through that crazy monsoon of a rain we had yesterday. People slide and slipping, and Brooklyn flooded, and it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Sister Farnessa, Alabama, want to check in. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Glad you back. Don't mess with Sister Farnessa. Do not mess with Sister Farnessa. She will dig in your soul when you play with the lineage, boy. She don't be playing. She don't be playing. She don't be playing. Sister Tanisha, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Glad you rocking out with us. Big Russ. Big Russ, you ready for the night? Once we log off, I'm going to call you in peace. Give me the 411 on what happened with the game. I'm calling y'all right after. Sister Joyce, Brother Monty, Suffolk County, up on the check-in. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Samantha, what's good? What's good? What's good? Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is by way of All Viral Access Media. Brother Mike Larry hooked that up, that intro song that he allows me to use at my leisure. So definitely appreciate that. Brian, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Certified up on the bridge. Glad you rocking out with us. We definitely appreciate you. Sylvia, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Hope all is well with you and yours. Brother Rich Nice. Callie on the check-in. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Glad you here with us, brother. Yeah, we had 2 weeks off. That's things that happen, so we had to take a little break. We back. My brother Tad, you ready? Let's get the OG Wisdom Podcast co-founder up on the Brooklyn Bridge and soon to be Tad Talks. You don't want to miss it. Stay in tune. What's happening, brother? How are you?
Yeah. I'm Gucci. How you feeling, sis?
Good. Glad to be here with y'all. Glad to be here with y'all. And if you missed the OG Wisdom Podcast on Sunday, you can check the replay out anytime on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. And they like the haters over there too. So come on over.
Word. And shout out to our brother C Gutter. Yo, we gonna get him a stand-up routine because Gutter's crazy. Word. And happy heavenly birthday to our brother Notorious B.I.G. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And also to a matriarch in my family that recently transitioned. Aunt Pauline would have been 87 years today. And tomorrow we will lay her to rest. So I'm out of here at 10 o'clock tonight. I gotta get up early tomorrow. Early.
No doubt.
So yeah. Also on Saturday, my mother would have been 75. So
wow.
Tough time for the family right now. Tough time. But we making it through. We making it through.
This is who we do it for, though. For our elders and our ancestors. Keep their legacy and names alive. I don't know what other people think we do this for. But and that's why they don't understand why we so serious with this. Because a lot of people don't know their family. They don't know they mamas or their grandmamas or great-grandmamas or aunties and uncles. We do this for them. And the children coming behind us. You know? That's what we do it for.
Yes, indeed. Last summer was the last summer the whole family got to spend time with her. And her and one of the older cousins, they were just giving us so much family history, so much on who we are, our lineage, and the legacy that those of us who are still alive must continue to push forward on. So I am blessed and thankful to have them in my life to give me all of the information that I needed. Back in 2022, I got to visit with Aunt Pauline, and she gave me so much information and documents. She just gave them to me so that I can have, because the family do know that I'm very serious about our genealogy and our legacy here on this soil. So,
that's sis. And shout out to Sister Joyce, Sister Aruba, and everybody else shouting me out in the chat. But see, now that she done passed on the assignment, she was able to leave. She couldn't go until she gave you that information, sis, because she knew you had to be the one. So her assignment is complete. And
go, brother.
Assignment is complete. You'll find the right person to pass this on. Somebody you know gonna carry the tradition on, because we here for a good time, not a long time. So we got to make the best of the time that we here. Look, I tell people all the time, if I go tonight, man, I'm good, because you know I'm leaving with a clean heart. I know that I've atoned for a lot of mistakes I've made in my ignorance, and I ain't scared of death. You know, that's the Eurocentric thing that got folks scared, and that's what keeps us in this little docile position, because we're afraid of what they might do. But when you're not afraid of what they perceive as their worst, then ain't nothing gonna stop you. If that was the case, we wouldn't have Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, or Dr. King, or Malcolm. We wouldn't have all the freedom fighters that we had if they subscribed to that fear of the inevitable. Because we all leaving, we just got to complete our assignment. That's all it is. So what's your assignment? I'm on mine.
Love it, brother. Love it, love it. Nothing but true words spoken. You know, the assignment was passed to me, and before I leave here, it'll be assigned to someone else. And I was just talking to a cousin of mine, because I usually don't log on to Facebook unless it's Thorough Black Talk Business. But I logged onto my personal page because Tabby sending me some crazy stuff. Him and Marcia, they like to get me riled up, you know, early in the day. They do that to your sister over here. They don't know nobody. Just gotta say bless them. So anyway, I logged into my personal page and tapped in to one of my cousins who actually moved from New York to Alabama. And so, you know, she was talking about how much she misses me. And, you know, I said, cuz soon I'll be there, because, you know, New York is a goddamn sinking boat here. This city is a sinking boat. Now, if y'all didn't see it on the news, I mean, let me show y'all what New York City was looking like yesterday. Shout out to Uncle Jess and Aunt Marie. I will see y'all tomorrow. I got a special treat for you, with the family slideshow that we will be playing tomorrow in honor of Aunt Pauline. So stay tuned for that, Unc. I got you. But back to news. Look at this. You see that? Look at this. Thank you, brother. It's just crazy how the city was looking. Everybody got to move through dirty water and piles of garbage. It was just disgusting. So yesterday, I went to see my barber. Shout out to Barber Neff. You know. Him and Adrian, they be doing the damn thing. You know, same place that Pinky Cole get her hair cut. Method Man get his hair cut. The sister from the show Harlem get a haircut over there. Megan Good, ex-husband, get his haircut. So a lot of people get their haircuts over there. But anyway, as I leave the barbershop, when I hit the bottom step, you gotta go upstairs. When I come down the bottom step, boom! Rain was everywhere. So I call my Lyft, come pick me up. He driving. Listen, I know Brooklyn, so the barber is at the beginning of Bushwick. Okay? Bushwick and Broadway. I know where I live in the East. So that's not a real far distance. Like a 40-minute drive, normally. Anyway, by the time we get off Bushwick Avenue, he driving through puddles. When I open the car door to get out, it's like this much of my foot covered. So, you know, me, I'm a clean freak. My family watching, they will tell you Keisha don't like dirt and she don't like mess. But, except my office, it's a mess. But it's my mess. My mess in here. My books and stuff all over. But anyway, it ain't dirty though. But anyway, I had to run upstairs, take a quick shower, because I was so skeeved out because, for y'all who don't know, it's been a little heat wave here in the city. So it was muggy on top of that. But to see all of the money that has gone to illegal migrants and LGBTQ surgeries and all this old kind of stuff, and to see the city in such chaos from rain. Right now, we got the Eastern Conference Finals taking place. And if you watch the game, Celebrity Row is Celebrity Row. You know, you ain't going to get celebrities turn out to basketball games the way you do in New York and LA. So you got allegedly a world-class city, but a little rain floods it all out. Your thoughts, Brother Tad, on that crazy rain we had yesterday?
Nah, it was crazy yesterday. I was glad I made it in the house in time because it was just coming down in buckets. And as of late, it's been raining and flooding, like especially Brooklyn. We normally don't get flooded like that. So I don't know if it's the sewage system that's backed up, if the trash is stopping up the drainage system, because you just showed the sister getting off the bus. Yeah, look at the train stations. It's just crazy, but I'll be making my move out of New York soon. So they can have this madness, sis. They
exactly. You with me, Tad.
New York. It's not out of New York anymore. They can have it. The Pilgrims can have it.
Y'all can have it because it's trash. It's just totally trash. So, Sister Bonnie, you already know. But this is crazy. And the amount of taxes. We pay more taxes than any place in the world, okay? In New York. The taxes are ridiculous here.
Sis, what I pay in taxes is somebody's paycheck. I was looking at it, I was like, yo. I'm like, yo, this is, yeah.
I was telling my aunt and my cousin the other day that, when you're on home, of course, you got to pay for water. But the service to get the water, I pay more than that than I do for my water usage. It's like almost $400 for the service. This is crazy here. So, y'all can have this trash. Nah, I think I'm going to get out of here sooner than I thought I would.
We're not even talking about congestion pricing that you literally have to pay to go to certain parts of Manhattan. A couple of months ago, I went to drop my uncle off at Port Authority. Well, 34th Street, not Port Authority, but, Penn Station, so he could catch Amtrak. And I'm thinking it's 2 a.m, we'll be fine. Tell me why they still got the congestion prices at 2 a.m. Nobody's even outside. I'm like, yo, this is madness. They slowly but surely squeezing us to death. All these new high rises, nowhere to park, everywhere. Yeah, it's crazy. And unless you're in New York, we're not exaggerating. Like it's super costly. I go outside, it's $100.
Minimum.
So I try not to go outside. It's crazy.
Minimum. This is crazy. And like he said, the congestion pricing, they just went up on transit fares. You just had a what do you call it? A boycott, not boycott, but a strike, mini strike of the LIRR.
Yes.
This is, and more buildings are being built, but New York is a sink bowl. So the more pressure you put on the foundation, it's sinking down, because we had rains like this when we were kids. The streets never flooded. They never flooded. We had 20-inch snowstorms, no problem. But so many buildings here, because everybody keep fleeing here. Check. You're messing up the city. Even the transplants. You fled from where else and came here. You ruining the city. Ruined it. So I got to go back down south, because this is crazy here. This is horrible, and I need to be in a pro-gun state.
Definitely. Definitely.
Because even though, you can carry and conceal here in New York, you have to go through all these restrictions. Like I can carry it on certain streets, but on this street I can't carry it.
Right.
This is the nonsense that we go through here in the city of New York. New York is trash. New York is trash.
It's not the New York everybody remember or think it was. That New York is long gone.
It's trash. It's trash. So I gotta get the hell up out of here. But we coming up on Memorial Day. And every Memorial Day, I like to tell you a little history. Know your little history. You know, while you home, getting the grill all ready, while y'all off of work, you know, especially you immigrants, including the pilgrims, you wouldn't be off if it wasn't for us. We gave you this holiday. Hold on.
Starting to think they really don't want us to know this, because Memorial Day, the one we celebrate with fireworks and long weekends, it has Black roots that were never taught. After the Civil War ended in 1865, Union soldiers had been held prisoner at a racetrack in Charleston, South Carolina. More than 250 of them died there, but the Confederates just buried them in mass graves. No names, no ceremony. So 28 Black men, newly freed from slavery, spent 2 weeks digging them up and gave every single soldier a proper burial. They built a fence around the graves, and above the entrance, they wrote "Martyrs of the Race Course." Then on May 1st, 10,000 people showed up. 3,000 Black school children led the way, singing, carrying flowers, honoring soldiers who died for their freedom, making this the first Memorial Day. That happened 3 years before the government made it an official holiday. And for a long time, it was erased from history on purpose. So the next time you see a Memorial Day parade, think about the foundational Black American men, women, and children who held the first one. Share this with someone who thinks Black history starts and ends in February.
Love it, love it, love it. Shout out to all the servicemen and women in my family going back to the Civil War. I thank you. I appreciate you. And we honor you. So,
you know, sis, and I always tell people, and I'm glad she mentioned the fact that we were celebrating 3 years before it was recognized by the U.S. government. I constantly tell people who are of the mind that white people give us stuff. And I keep telling people, everything we got, we worked for, we fought for, we bled for. You know, I don't know why people give the powers that be, the perceived powers that be, as I like to say, so much power, because they don't really have power. People only have power when you acquiesce and you submit to their perceived power. Because whether it's Memorial Day, Dr. King's birthday, most recently Juneteenth, everything that we have that's recognized by the government, we were already doing. And we didn't ask for permission. Just like we didn't ask for permission for our emancipation, if you will. You know, we took it. Nobody gave it to us. Lincoln didn't give it to us. We forced his hand. But people who don't know the true story, and a lot of Johnny-come-latelys, they come and buy into the narrative that things were given to us and we should be grateful. No, we're constantly working and we're constantly earning. Because I promise you, when we get reparations, don't say they gave it to us. No, it's just a debt owed to us by law. But most people don't know the law. You know, they don't understand history. And they damn sure don't have critical thinking skills. So they can't even put things in its proper historical context. And as opposed to just admitting that they don't know and humbling themselves to be students of what's being shared with them, they just want to have strong ass opinions and weak ass facts. So, of course, salute to all the veterans that gave their life for our freedom then and now. And I'm off my soapbox.
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The part where she says we celebrated before it became holiday, the same with Juneteenth. We celebrated that before it became a national holiday. And now that it has become a national holiday, you have people who want to co-opt it and make it their own, which I find disingenuous and very immoral for some people to do, especially now where people are delineating, where the lineage has delineated. It's like they're even throwing the sauce on even more. But I'm glad that our people are pushing back and saying no more. So you're gonna play this clip.
I see June trips to the continent.
Come on, Chad. Come on, Chad.
In Ghana? Like, come on, man. Let's not do that. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it authentic. Let's keep it real. Juneteenth in Africa. Right. There's no knock on Africa, but come on, man. Again, people not putting things in this historical context, just making up things as they go along. But
Let's play this clip, and we'll come right back and discuss.
It's insulting because of division. It's insulting because it represents erasure. It's like you're taking a cultural group that had nothing to do with Juneteenth, nothing to do with Black Americans at all, and then trying to insert their culture in replace of ours to celebrate something that only has to do with us. This West African Ghanaian culture does not represent Black Americans at all. No Black American grew up eating egusi soup or okra soup or jollof rice. Like, that's not a part of our culture. That would be like Black Americans having soul food in Ghana as a replacement for jollof or banku or whatever they were having in celebration of some festival that only had to do with their people. It just wouldn't make sense. We have our own culture, and that culture is what should be represented and celebrated for Juneteenth. I feel like this is another slap in the face from the Pan-Africans, basically saying that our Black American culture is not good enough, so we need to replace it with something more African to represent Juneteenth. Like with the whole Juneteenth celebration in Ghana, it's like, I'm just not seeing the connection here. It's okay for us to be American. It's okay for us to just be us.
Sis, I even knew you was gonna play that. Look at that. Look how the ancestors are in alignment. I didn't even know that was the clip you was gonna play. But it's blatant for those who can see. It's blatant disrespect. In Ghana in August they have this festival called Asafo Tufiami. That means warriors firing guns. This is to reinforce a treaty that was made between the warring tribes every year. The chiefs and the families, they all come together. It's a big celebration, almost like Eastern Parkway, but bigger. And every year they come. And now imagine us trying to do that here. Talking about we doing a Sapo Tufiami. Here, first of all, who's the tribe we warring with? That's Black Americans. So we got no beef like that. But then, like you said, we replacing they stuff with fried chicken and collard greens and baked macaroni and candy yams and black eyed peas and rice peas. Oh, I'm getting hungry, and cornbread and hush puppies. Shut my fat ass up. But just imagine we start doing that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's disrespectful. It's disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment you stop being honest, you already lose credibility.
It is. Like Sister Ruba said, it's a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face. Sister Tanisha said it's very disrespectful. But again, this is what happens when people lean into your culture and try to and grandfather clause themselves onto it for their own benefit. Let's get Sister Marcia up on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's happening, sis? How are you?
What up, sis?
Peace, family. Peace, family. It's been like a month. I missed y'all. How's everybody doing?
We good. How's everything with you?
Everything is everything. And we thank the universe for giving us the strength to endure and push forward and continue to live in grace.
I know that's right. So, in light of this thing with Juneteenth and how people are changing the colors, changing the definition, changing the celebratory way of Black Americans here in the United States. And, like we said, we celebrated this holiday before, most people even knew what the hell it was. What are your thoughts on people co-opting and trying to make it their own?
Well, I know I found out about Juneteenth probably was 18. And I found it difficult that many people around me who may have been foundational people wouldn't even recognize the day. And I'm like, but this is the day that we should honor the ancestors for, having this moment in time. And it was like, oh, nobody else is recognizing it and it doesn't mean anything. And I'm like, so then you move away from certain people who think like this. And then you're just like, okay, so now there's a celebration that I'm just finding out that's been here for 100 and plus years, and it's not being recognized. So you really, for me, really try to find people who are really honoring this celebration and trying to find out more and really getting some more historical content on what it means to them and how does it affect them. How do you continue to bring light to it to other people so that people who are talking like your friends can stop talking like that, so you could help build that bridge that needs to be built. Because a lot of times if you don't know the story, and it's not being taught to you, you tend to be like, oh, Master didn't tell me about this story, so I don't think I should recognize it. And then come what was it, 2018, when they gave it, everybody was like, well, now we got to have a big barbecue. And Marcia, you gonna throw the big barbecue? And
2021
2022,
I believe they made it official, because most people didn't know until COVID, when people had to sit there
right,
and learn something.
right. Well, anyway, so that year, whatever year it was official, maybe it was official on one year, and then the following year, the community started doing a lot of announcements and a lot of celebrations, but I always felt it was flawed, especially since in Queens, everything is run by politicians. So it's really hard, especially in Queens, with not having a political voice and having a very grassroots voice on what's happening. So for in Queens, it got co-opted by the politicians. And there was a really beautiful event that the sister created 2019 or 2018, and it was really pretty. And then it got co-opted, and I think that's one of our biggest problems. Everything always get co-opted. If it's not politicians, it's other groups of people with other agendas, and it's not people who really care, or the people who really care, their voices aren't penetrating enough, because maybe you don't have the weed, maybe you don't have the liquor, maybe you don't have the things that make people come out, and the politicians, they're gonna throw around money.
Not people, the Negroes who only come for that.
There's still people, but I get it. There's still
we honor people.
I understand,
and that's what we got to start practicing discernment.
I understand.
But I agree with you, sis. From my summation, what I see in terms of it being co-opted and people not celebrating it is because a lot of times, in this case, from me being in certain groups, it was African-centered people who were not respecting Juneteenth, really pretty much downplaying it, saying it's more so American and it's for people who didn't know no better. It was just ignorant conversation shrouded around that, why people didn't celebrate it. Because I've learned about Juneteenth back in the 90s, and I've been to Juneteenth celebrations. And in the 90s, when I first came into the movement, I learned about the division within the movement. because you think you have a cultural wing, you have a political wing, you have an economic wing, and these people are not in sync with one another. Everybody have the same ideology, but people are working on different fronts and won't come together and always constantly backbite one another in terms of the efforts. So those of us who was part of the overall movement who have delineated, now folks want to backbite us. Like, oh, we selling out, da-da-da, oh, you love America, da-da-da. And I like something Gutter said before last year on the OG Wisdom podcast. He said, people getting it twisted. We love our what we've done over here, not the government. So when we talk about being American, people act like we're speaking up for white America, because we know there's two Americas, a white one and a black one, and we represent the black America. You know, so when we talk about our culture, when we talk about our accomplishments, those things were done on this soil. And we'd be fools to negate that or denounce that just to make other people comfortable with their inadequacies. And too often, that's what people do. So to speak to your point about the politicians co-opting it, most people don't think for themselves. Because we all got two voices in our head, you know, one that says do it, one that says don't do it. Which one do we follow? And then we got the external voices that speaks to the confusion that exists within everybody. But they get upset now that we're clear. As Black Americans, as foundational Black Americans, we are clear in the direction we want to go, and we are in unison. And they don't like that because the confused people, they don't have clarity. So they can't see what it is exactly that we're doing. And then get upset like, all right, we know you're Black Americans, but why do y'all have to use foundational? But you know, sis, anybody that comes from another country, once they get sworn in, once they get their citizenship, they become a quote unquote American. But they're not foundational. And
right.
we have
without having a clear understanding what it means, especially if you're Black. Especially if you're Black, you know, when I was working with certain organizations, I would always advocate that now that we've, you know, went through the process, gotten a certain group of people, certain number of people, let's extract our people out of these numbers and have real education for them. Oh no, those people don't need that. That's not what they need, and da-da-da-da-da. And it becomes a real battle because, you know, there are organizations that continually get funding for the freakery. And you're just like, they get funding for anything. And here you are like, okay, so you're already doing this part.
Oh, see, I'm gonna ask you a question. Is it Black?
I'm not
gonna put you in a hot seat. I'm not even gonna put you in a hot seat. I'm not gonna ask you what's their nationality, where they're from. I'm not gonna, because I already know the answers. I know you're sharing with the audience. I know you are sharing with the audience.
Behave yourself. Be a nice sad.
People get easily funded.
Yes.
Because it's not so much about empowerment as it is.
Right. And then you're telling them that part of your role, right? I think my summation is part of your role is to somehow do something that's going to benefit the growth of the collective. That's not my importance. My importance is my back dollars and everything like that. And I'll just do anything that they say. But you have ways of allocating and you don't want to do it. And I feel it's so unfair. And it's so unjust to so many people. But such is life.
You know, shout out to Brother Daniel on the check-in, the foundational report. Make sure you look out for him in Hidden Color 6 as well. Shout out to you, Brother Daniel.
Dope.
Yeah. But, you know, here's the thing. And as Sister Marcia mentioned, the politicians took it over and co-opted it. But those politicians are Democrats. And it is the legacy and the history of the Democrats to undermine Black Americans at any and every cost. And so they are in line with the philosophy of the party. So that is not surprising. But as far as foundational Black Americans, we are now putting our foot down. I don't see no flags with yellow, green, black, and red, orange. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see, like the video we showed earlier, I don't want to see no Joloff, nothing. I don't want to see any of that. Any of that. Because, you know, I was on a space yesterday or the day before on TikTok, and this guy comes up. He said he's from Brooklyn. He is of Jamaican lineage. And he was talking about, you know, on the Parkway, we all together. I said, where? When and where did that take place? I said, I've never seen it. I've never seen it, neither have you. When did you ever see a Juneteenth flag or a Black American heritage flag waving in the balance? I've never seen it. You look at all the businesses around that area. They got flags of every nation on their businesses. You know, but you ain't never seen ours there. So what you talking about here? Well, what we talking about here? Don't come and tell lies and craziness when the truth is staring you right in the face. So, you know, I'm glad that, you know, we standing on lineage business, because whether the world pays attention to it or not, we will make you shift. And that's what's happening in the world. A lot of people from a lot of ethnic groups are making a shift, whether they want to or not. And that is because pressure has been applied. Check this out, and we'll come right back and discuss.
Asian American just said about Black Americans getting reparations. Watch this.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erin Kimura. I'm a 5th generation Chinese and Japanese American and a 5th generation San Franciscan. I'm here today to fully support Black reparations because this is the bare ass minimum. Period. The bare ass minimum. History is enough of a reason. The dehumanization that we've seen is enough of a reason for why we need redress and reparations now. This is not an impossible reality, right? We've seen this with the Japanese Americans in the late 1980s. They received on a federal level reparations. And the fact that Black folks and our Black community and our brothers and sisters are still waiting for a formal apology. Ooh-wee. I'm just going to leave that there just to simmer. And I just really want to note, especially as an Asian American woman, I would not be here if it were not for the Black liberation struggle, the Black freedom fighters, culture creators, and the world builders that have fought for my liberation. So,
thank you. Thank you for your comments.
She's not wrong. Japanese Americans got federal reparations in the late 1980s. Black folks still waiting on an apology. That alone tells you everything about where we stand in this country. But here's the truth about reparations. As long as our identity is classified as a racial category.
He's going in and out. But, you know, everybody know what's right. Whether they want to admit it or not, you know what's right. If you have a moral compass, you know what's right. So when I see all of these tangibles being allocated to other groups, that for me is problematic. I don't know. I guess it's the way I was raised, right? When I came in, I mentioned an elder in my family who recently transitioned, but she always taught, at least us women in the family, how to be a lady, how to dress properly as a lady, how to carry yourself as a lady with elegance and with class. That's a moral compass for the women in our family. That's just it. When you come into a family or a nation, you should follow that moral compass. So if we as a lineage are fighting for a particular thing, then you join on. Or at least mind your goddamn business. Do not vote against our interests. If we're telling you that these people are not passing legislation that could be beneficial to us, why are you voting for them? Because you want to get yours off. That's what you're telling me. That's how I see it. So, Brother Tad, your thoughts on that clip and, you know, how you personally feel about it.
I think you said it all. You know, other people recognize, and that's when we talk about authenticity and the level of discernment. You know, right is right and wrong is wrong. and people always following what it is that we do, but anything to advance us, we get in all types of resistance. And no longer are we going to participate with this. You think in the 1900s, the early turn of the century, I think it was like 1910, when the U.S. was saying, send us your sick and huddled masses, you know, when they were sending for the Southern Europeans, making Jewish people and Italians and Irish people officially white people, it was to bolster their numbers and shrink ours, because politically we was kicking ass. And it's the same thing they're doing now. 100 years later, they're inviting all of these people to hop the fence and come over just so they can fight against what it is we're fighting for, knowing that we actually deserve this, because the history of this country is rooted in our existence. I'm talking about deeper than slave labor. I'm talking about the creation of Washington, D.C., as Professor Tony Browder showed us. I'm talking about Benjamin Banneker designing Washington, D.C. I'm talking about all of these places that were settled by Black people, all of these lands and states that were developed by Black people, all of the wars that were won by Black people. If it wasn't for our existence, this country would have been folded, because this country was an experiment. And some of us were brought here on ships. Some of us were already here. We already know this was already a multicultural place when Christopher Columbus and the likes, because we know he didn't step foot on U.S. soil. But when Europeans came, when they invaded, it was already multicultural. It wasn't just one ethnicity here. It wasn't one ethnic group. It was different people, Black, brown, no whites, yellow. You know, it was different people here already. But they just slapped Native Americans or Indians on everybody. So from New York to California, they just said everybody's the same group of people. And we know this not to be true. But again, people subscribe to their perceived power. And that's why I'm glad that Asian woman sat there and told the truth. And that's all I say. Just tell the truth. Just tell the truth, and everything will work itself out. But you got people who want to buy into the lie. So let them live in their delusion.
Crazy work, crazy work. Because now you got people who are co-opting moment in history for their own benefit, which is so disingenuous. It is so disrespectful. But it's like nobody even has a moral compass. This is crazy right here.
All right. So they had a little, basically kind of a nothing burger march out there. All right. They had a nothing burger march out there. All right. Kind of senseless. People are like, okay. All right. The Democrats are very desperate right now. They don't want to do the right thing, which is, if you want to get us back on board as a large voting bloc, it's time to break off those tangibles to foundational Black Americans. Oh, y'all, you're Democrats, you're trying to go around it. There's no way around it. There is no way around it. You're going to have to come right up the middle and come through with the tangibles. You got to come through with a crime bill that protects foundational Black Americans specifically. These little symbolic gestures don't work no more. This is why this didn't really make no noise. You understand? What you're doing right now, you're trying to get your Democratic jobs back because the Republicans have checkmated you. Y'all trying to act like this is something that's going to really affect us, but it's affecting you. It's affecting you. And they always got to go down to Selma and go down to Alabama. All right.
It's crazy. It's just crazy. And just a couple of months ago, you had the Somalians from Minnesota do the exact same thing. I mean, this is crazy. People who really went across that bridge that time got their heads busted. You know, there was the KKK on both sides waiting for them to come off. Where the KKK waiting for y'all over here? Where's that? Where's that? But this is where we at. So this is why, you know, delineation is so important right now. We are shaking it up. And, you know, some people say, well, it's just online. Okay. All right.
If you want to know if you have power or not, use the word delineation. It's strong when we use it. Think about this. If Mexico or the Mexicans decided to delineate today, who the fuck would care? If the Italians, if the Cubans, the Panamanians, the Haitians, Jamaicans, any of them African countries decided to delineate from us, who would care? We'd play the world's smallest fucking violin. You know why we wouldn't care? Because we are not dependent on their identity, their ethnonym, their ethnicity, their legacy, their history of anything. We have it all already, right? So when we say that we're delineating, it is cutting off a vehicle that was used to undermine specifically us. Yeah. They wanted to undermine us. They've been undermining us. And people will come up to this panel acting like this is a new phenomenon. It's been 60 plus years of this experience, right? And it has not been a good experience. It has not been transactional. It has not led to our people moving anywhere beyond where we were in the 1960s.
People have had enough.
He just spoke the gospel.
That's it. People had enough of these Democrats. But like, he said, or somebody said in the chat, they just want to save their job. Because you about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. And I started doing a little digging, Brother Tad, on the lineage of some of the Congressional Black Caucus. Outside of the ones who we obviously know have lineage outside of this country, but I started doing a little digging on some of them who claim or who are bi-ethnic. I didn't know Hakeem Jeffries was bi-ethnic. And I know where his father's family's from. They from here. But his mother's lineage is from Cape Verde. So it kind of puts things in a proper perspective on what, because he's the head of the DNC. It's him right here. But everything he's doing is undermining the lineage for two reasons. One, he's bi-ethnic, and two, he's falling right in line with the philosophy of the Democratic Party to always undermine Black Americans. But people have been on their behinds on X and other spaces. Listen to this foolishness. Now they want college students to boycott playing sports.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me thank Chairwoman Yvette Clarke for her tremendous leadership and for convening us today alongside NAACP President Derek Johnson. We're so thankful, President Johnson, for your leadership, for your courage, for your strength in this unprecedented moment of attack. And it's an honor to stand with members of the Congressional Black Caucus, as well as former athletes committed to this cause in getting this egregious situation turned around. This is an unprecedented moment featuring an unprecedented attack on Black political representation, and therefore it requires an unprecedented response. That's right. We are here standing in solidarity with the NAACP and its call for athletes to boycott institutions within the SEC that belong to states that have unleashed these Jim Crow-like racially oppressive tactics, which is unacceptable, unconscionable, and un-American. And we believe that the silence of these institutions is complicity, and we will not stand for it. At the same period of time, the Congressional Black Caucus strongly and uniformly opposed the so-called SCORE Act, resulting in Republicans having to pull the SCORE Act from the floor. And we will continue to oppose it. We will continue to stand with the NAACP in encouraging athletes in our community to look elsewhere until these racially gerrymandered maps in the South are reversed, buried in the ground, never to rise again.
I'm going to pause it right there. Now, where was his energy when Donald Trump and the Republicans put to the floor a reparations fund for those who were unjustly prosecuted or attacked during January 6th? You capitulated, sucker, but you got us stuck on a study. You diabolical roach. That's what he is. That's what he is. He's a roach. He moves like a robot. He talks like a robot. You ever see him with the hand gestures? It just looks so fake. You just fake. You know, so they are vying to keep their jobs. Maps have always been redrawn. Let me just tell y'all that. This is a fact. Political maps have always been redrawn. But why would you want to keep somebody who is brown complected, who are voting against your interests, like nigga Jim Clyburn? Why would you want to keep these people in office? What are you fighting for here? It's just to give these people a job. But no, we're not giving y'all no more jobs. It's over. I'd rather go toe-to-toe with the Triple K than deal with y'all. Because y'all have given everything but the kitchen sink away. But we still asking. Are you crazy? And this is what I'm saying with those who come from other lands. You are getting tangibles. For example, when the migrant, and Brother Tad worked in certain spaces, so he confirmed what I'm saying. When the migrants or the illegal criminals were coming over here, because that's what they are, illegals, they put them in shelter, housing, kept them families together, right, Brother Tad?
Yes, they did.
But when things went wrong economically in this country, and Black women had to apply for public assistance, the Black man had to leave the home, didn't he? So all of you Black politicians, you must atone for that, sucker. You kept illegal families together, but foundational Black American families, you made them split up so that the family could eat. You are diabolical roaches. Everybody seems to forget that part. They still keeping them together. You got people fighting cases right now because the man done got shipped off to El Salvador. I don't give a damn. Nobody cared when my grandfather had to leave the house. In a war. Nobody cared. So I don't care what happened to you and your family. You got right now immigrant families, legal immigrant families, who are getting public assistance, Medicaid, Medicare, free college tuition for some of their kids and grandkids. We had to get our family split apart. We were ostracized when we needed public help. We needed help. Looked down upon. So I'm kicking the dirt right back to everybody. If your father's still in the house and you and your family is receiving any kind of public funding, you ain't shit. Because I almost had to get kicked out. Nobody looks at that. I don't forget a goddamn thing. When brothers was on the corner selling illegal pharmaceuticals and living in public housing. And if you were arrested, your family had to get rid of you. You couldn't live there. But you got fentanyl pushers, illegal weed spot runners, still living with their families. How is that right? That's why I say, you're messing with God's people. And all of y'all going to catch hell. This is just the beginning. And I love it. I love it. Brother Ty, your thoughts on, the black man had to leave the home, but illegals get to stay together. How is that?
I was just thinking about the people's history of the United States by Howard Zinn. And in that book where they talk about how no matter what was done to us during our enslavement, they couldn't break our morale. And then they realized that our family structure was our superpower. That's why selling us off became the punishment. Threats to get us to submit was, I'll sell off your wife, I'll sell off your child, I'll sell off your mother. And they kept that tradition going into the civil rights era, where we were allowed to get social service benefits. Because people got to remember, welfare was created for them, not necessarily us. The civil rights movement was deeper than sitting on buses and using toilets. There were so many things that were not afforded to us, though this was the land of milk and honey, supposedly. So even when we talk about life insurance, we weren't allowed to get life insurance. We were only allowed to get burial insurance. That's why people got to remember, most of our families are buried together, because even the cemeteries were segregated. So many things were segregated. And as people lie and take control of the narrative, many people don't realize that Dr. King was fighting for desegregation, not necessarily integration. But then, of course, the powers that be, the perceived powers that be, are the masters of confusion. So they changed the language. Instead of saying desegregation, they started calling it integration. And with that, our dollars left the community too. You're not going to build a nation without no economic power. And you're not going to build no economy without an intact family. So these people know what they were doing, and they know what they are doing now. Even when you look at how right now the young people are running amok. I don't know if you've seen that all around the country, these young people are meeting up in groups just to cause havoc. But who are the parents that gave birth to these children? What was that home life like? It's the crack babies having babies now. Well, who brought the crack to the community? And why was it brought to our community specifically? And of course, that's a rhetorical question, because we all know. But again, to destroy the family. Because you're not going to have a nation. You're not going to have a strong community without a strong family. So at every waking moment, they're going to destroy the black family, because it's almost like we're the only ones with real eyes that see what this system is doing. Everybody else breaking their neck to get over here and be a part of it. We're the only one who know we can't go nowhere else, but we are going to resist the current system that's in place and restore it with a system of justice, truth, and honesty. Because everybody else most of these people are liars and living a lie. And a lot of these people are fooled. They hop in the gate. And when they hear long enough, they'll see, like that Asian girl. I'm quite sure she said she 5th generation, the Asian girl in San Francisco. I'm quite sure generation 1 and generation 2 felt some kind of way about black folks, until maybe 3 or 4 was like, hold up, these black folks ain't what these white folks are saying. And the white folks are saying the same thing about us, so we know it's not true. So, we just need these moments of clarity. And that's why we choose to speak for ourselves. We don't need nobody, especially none of these fake politicians. We don't need them speaking for us, because they don't speak for us. They speak for the powers that be and their agenda, and just get the dumb ones to go along. But again, we see their numbers is dwindling. So it's just a waiting game right now. All we need is patience and stay our course. And I'm off my soapbox.
Yes, indeed. I'm going to play this clip, and then we'll come back to Sister Marcia, and hopefully Sister Brooke and Brother Devine will be ready. So let me play this clip and we'll come right back and we'll discuss.
No man can grant us our humanity. No law can erase it. No king, no system, and no president can strip it away, Ebenezer. Because it is not given by man, it is ordained by God. Thank you, Ebenezer Church.
Kamala 2.0. You better thank the union member. You better thank the union member playing in your face. Fucking Hillary with hot sauce. All of this shit. This donkey shit. 60-year playbook over and over and over and over again. And then they ask, yo, what the Republicans do? They don't come to the hood and lie to you. Like the homie said, they don't come looking for you. If you vote, you vote, man. It's that. The black vote didn't get Trump in, man. If you vote, you vote. They not coming to look for you, playing your face, cosplay, and do all of this shit, dress up in dashikis and all of that shit, and think a union member, and y'all keep going for it. Straight donkeys.
That's my dude. Gotham Ghetto Gospel. Yo, he be on it.
It's crazy. Like, you know, before I go into my spiel, Sister Marcia, your thoughts.
Ebenezer, do you hear me? I'm giving you these words right now. I'm preaching to you, Ebenezer. We cannot, whatever. And man, again, at one political moment, right? I was investing in political ideology, political movement, trying to get myself seated somewhere, yada, yada, yada. And then I started meeting some of these people on the campaign train like her. And I said, this is not the place to be. This cannot be the place to be. And you're speaking to, you know, these political heads who were like 80, 90 years, 50 years deep into the system of bringing up people into the throes, assembly seats, city council, and they're pitching you and they're telling you what they can do for you, sister. Sister, I'm going to tell you what I could do for you so you could do this. And the amount of money you're going to have, the amount of blessings, this is what they told me, the amount of blessings you're going to have, sister. You're going to have so much blessings, you won't know what to do with it. All you have to do is say what I say. All you have to do is walk the way I walk. That's all you have to do. And to sit back and to see the freakery that's still happening and these churches that continue to allow these people to come into their places and allow these people to spill their spill so that you can get your funding. And this is why, you know, again, I'm a little person, right? I'm just a little child in this world. All I have is books to learn for and elders that I sit and I speak with to learn from. And from those people, I can build my discernment and those experiences. And I tell you one thing for sure. I would go back 60, 70 years and be a member of any church, any Black church, than a member of any Black church today. Because they are not for community. They are not for the people. They are for building these big churches. I have a church near my house that's been, I'm literally going to be living in Queens for about 40 years. For 40 years, this church is still being built and it's still not built. And I have about 4 of them in Southeast Queens the same way. Now you got to explain me something. And these pastors, the pastors of these churches that's still being erected are still making money. So you make it make sense to me. So I do not agree with having any politician come into my place of worship and try to tell me something, and then you turn your back on me afterwards when I tell you what I need in my community. You tell me that my community do not matter, or it matters at this point. Well, you'll need to do this before you get this. And so I do this, that, and the third, and I still don't get this. How many times do I have to bend over and I still don't receive? My community still don't receive. There's a problem.
Here's something that you said that's very key. There is a law that is broken every time that you invite a politician into the pulpit to speak to your congregation. You violate church and state. There is a separation of church and state for a reason. And then what I found most problematic, you're imitating the cadence of a Black preacher. Yet, you say you can't do nothing for us. This is problematic. This is why delineation must happen and why we have to make it law. This is why we have to make it law. Let me get into the room. The U.S. Freedmen Project president, Brother Divine, you ready? Up on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's happening, brother? How are you? And our sister Brooke, up on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
What's good?
Somebody take something. Peace to the family.
Oh, she on mute.
Oh,
because yeah.
Sorry. So hello. Yeah, me and President Divine, our brains are a bit scrambled. We have had a very full couple days. We on the back end fixing websites and stuff to make sure that we were ready for tonight. That's up till the very second you called our names. We are discussing, like, fixing things and whatnot. And I'll let President Divine, go into the last couple of days that we've had so that I don't say the wrong thing or something that I shouldn't say.
We need that news. We need that news, Brother Divine, if you will.
Oh yeah, definitely. Before we get to the news, though, I definitely want to you got me turned up real quick on what you opened the show with, because what most don't know is there was a president before me at the U.S. Freedmen Project. So I'm not the first. He had to step away, and I've been the president ever since. But before I was the president, I was going to be the media arm of the U.S. Freedmen Project, and I was working on a podcast, an informational podcast of Foundational Black American History. And so one of the very first episodes I did was on Memorial Day, aka Decoration Day. And so all that you shared took me back to all the research I did on that particular episode, and just everything that you guys have shared was on point. But a couple of things that I think is apropos now that we're talking about church and things of that nature, and just kind of going back to why and how, right? The church went from being our epicenter for revolutionary action and organizing to what it is today. But when you even go back to that first Decoration Day, which will become Memorial Day, it was held at what the Confederate troops turned into an open air prison. It was a race yard, and the formerly enslaved, the freedmen, it is said that they marched around that prison like they marched around the walls of Jericho. And they dug up those bodies of the Union soldiers so they could give them a proper burial. And only the ways that we know how. And it was over 3,000 students from those first initial Freedmen Bureau schools that took part of the procession that was about 10,000 people strong. And they built a fence around the race yard in honor of those soldiers. And on it, they hung a sign that said Martyrs of the Race Course. And one of the regiments that was there, they pay honor to the 54th Massachusetts. And that is the same regiment that is on the banner and a part of our logo and lore of the U.S. Freedmen Project, because we always believed in paying homage to those that came before us, and specifically those that fought, because and I think I heard Brother Tad talking about it, we are under this misconception, not us, but some of us are, but more of those that come over are under this misconception that somehow we appeal to the better angels of the white supremacists, and that's what has given us what we have gotten. Except I want the family to always understand that we were not given emancipation. We fought and earned emancipation, then forced this government and this country to recognize that emancipation. And this first Decoration Day shows you, and this is so powerful, because when you go back and look to what was waived, we're talking about 1865 in May. So we're talking about months that after the Civil War ends. And our people not only pay homage and honor those fallen soldiers and had the 54th Massachusetts there, they were waving the American flag. And so from the very inception of our emancipation, we have always been rooted in all that makes us American, because we were the first to bleed, sweat, and die for America to become the America that you experience today. And like Brother Tad said, there have always been two Americas. And when you think long and hard about why you happy to be here, all of that is Black America. All the stuff that you don't like, that you are fighting to change, that's white America. Never get it twisted and never get those confused. And I'll land on this topic, because there's a book done by David Blight, a Yale professor, called Race and Reunion. And he did a talk about Memorial Day. And after he was done, an elder foundational Black American woman approached him and came up to him, and she asked him, "You mean that story is true?" After he talked about what took place at that race yard. And she said, "I grew up in Charleston, and my granddaddy used to tell us this story of a parade at the old racetrack, and we never knew whether to believe him or not. I can't believe it's true." And I want to use that as a segue to say this. There are many things, including our origin story from our now ancestors, that they told us in honor and in truth that we thought they were lying about. And this foundational Black American Renaissance is rooted in the fact that they were right. And now we know they were right. And you and all those that choose to oppose us now in the future, y'all will always be wrong. And y'all going to have to hold that L, because we're done providing cover for things that we now know to be true and that our ancestors always knew was true.
Divine the Magic Dragon coming here spitting flames early. My brother, it's good to see you again, man.
It's always love on the bridge, and hello. Great to see you. We missed you in the past week. Sister Marcia, welcome back. And Brother Tad, and of course the OG. We are glad to see you here in good health. You know they can't keep a good one down, so we already knew that this was going to be the eventuality, but we always good to see it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm glad y'all finished the site.
Enough that it can be shown. Yeah, enough that it could be shown. I'm still learning, because you know how editing and coding and all that kind of stuff could be somehow stuff happens that you don't expect, but it's good enough for now, good enough for y'all to look at. And then I'll go through and make little like underlying changes, because stuff is underlined that shouldn't be underlined, little things like that. So I'll go through and fix it.
I already did a test, just so you know. I already did a test.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's certain part. Well, I'll let President Divine. Certain parts we have we had to reformulate our plan. So the plan that you are aware of is not what we're moving forward with. So I'll let President DEVINE necessarily talk about that. I did want to say one thing that I was listening to while I was trying to code and edit and all the things that we were doing behind the scenes, is that I think a problem when you guys were talking about, you know, Juneteenth and like people respecting it. The problem is that when we tell people what their true history is, then we get called liars. This is a huge issue. People want to be wrong when it comes to our foundational Black American history. People are wrong, strong, and loud, and they don't want to be corrected. They are quite happy. And when the people whose ancestors lived through said history and are telling it from the stories of our ancestors, and this happened even during the term changing of African American, when our people are telling us who we are, you know, it's no, you're wrong. How the hell? Because I remember having this conversation with a person in real life, where I was telling them, look, you know, we have Native American ancestry and things like that. And he looked at me, and, you know, this person was a Haitian, I remember at the time. And he looked at me and he says, you guys don't have Native American ancestry. And I just turned around and turned my head and I just looked at him and I said, so you gonna tell me who I am? And I think just the look on my face, he shut it down. You're not gonna argue with me, like, and that's the thing when it comes to certain things. That's why I don't think anybody ever called me a cotter to my face, because people already know who I am, how I get down, and you can tell by my face I'm not playing with you. So just when I looked at him like, are you gonna tell me who I am? I don't tell you who you are. When you tell me you had a revolution, when you tell me you did XYZ, when you tell me everything except for that y'all killed Dessalines in the streets, I don't disagree. And I don't try to tell you who are. So how dare you fly your happy ass to my country and then fix your mind to tell me who I am? In case my mama watching, who I am. So that's the problem. It would be great if we could educate, but they don't want to be educated. And we are past. Let me tell you who did lots of education. Tad and Keisha. They did decades and decades and decades of education. We ain't about education at this point. It's knuckle up time. It's either you get down with the program or you get laid down. We're not playing. I don't have no patience. I don't have no time. And I goddamn sure ain't got no education for somebody who don't want it.
Slaves are heavy. We've been off a couple of weeks. They was ready, boy. They was ready. But before we move on, I have to say this because we out of here at 10 o'clock. I get up very early tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, you do.
I want to thank Brother Tad, Sister Brooke, Brother DEVINE for checking up on me continuously in the last 2 weeks. It has been very difficult for myself and my family, and they've been on me, checking up on me. So I appreciate y'all because we all live very busy lives, and they were definitely checking up on your girl every day. I appreciate you, and so does my family. And hopefully I'll see some of y'all tomorrow. But in line with what you said, we went to the Negro burial ground. And this was posted of a law going back to the 1700s. And right here, it says that from henceforth, no Negro, mulatto, or Indian slave above the age, Indian slave.
Okay.
Nowhere does it say African or nothing. Nothing. They know who were enslaved here.
Yep.
So when people say, you know, well, We all came on the same boat, dropped off at different places. Where? Because as I've shown on this platform, a book that I purchased from the Schomburg, the Pan-Africans love the Schomburg. Okay? That's a library right there, honey. You don't play with the Schomburg. What it said? About 500,000. So all of those millions, where they went? It wasn't over here. Documentation of free Black people in my family. And some of them kidnapped, sold into slavery. You know, I found out it would be my 6th great-grandfather who passed away. And his will was listed in probate court. Now, in order for him to write a will and leave assets, he had to be free. He willed his home and his land to his daughter, who was kidnapped and enslaved, and her husband purchased her freedom. How can he will her something if he wasn't free? But his children were kidnapped and sold into slavery. 1 daughter and 5 sons. So I don't know what these people talking about. Yes, some of us have a connection to the continent by way of an ancestor who was kidnapped and sold by those Africans. Slavery that you like to make pretty, but it's not pretty. You know, like Taz says, a lot of y'all moving with antiquated information, and we're in a technological age. We got these little things in our hands, little mini computers. Some of us have smart glasses, and you still dumb as rocks. So anyway, I'm off my spiel, but I wanted to thank y'all personally, so that everybody knows, you know, we are more than just comrades on a battlefield. We are more than just friends. We are family here, and we don't play with family. You know, sometimes after I log off, chatting it up with my real family, biological family, and they talking about the show. So, you know, Brother Divine, Sister Brooke, we'll be meeting some of them tomorrow, hopefully. But anyway, I had to give thanks so that, you know, everybody knows. But I appreciate all of y'all with your well wishes and looking up and checking out, you know, a lot of the viewers. What's going on? When y'all coming back? When the bridge is coming back? We back in full effect, baby. So, you know, I gave the test to Sister Brooke. How I found? She said, all right. God damn it, I'm back on the air. It's up now. It's up for everybody. So anyway, had to do that. But there was a skit that Drewski did that got everybody in the uproar. You know, talking about Hollywood. You know, what's going on over there? You know, people getting roles that they should be. Because I remember the kind of roles Hattie McDaniels had to play.
Come on. Come on.
I remember the kind of roles Butterfly McQueen had to play. That's the role. Even though she was Bahamian, she was a rock.
That's true.
She was a rock.
That's right.
Cicely Tyson. Even though she was from the Caribbean, she was a rock. You not put me in no crazy stuff. And if I got a family, I want a husband. Not like Sidney Poitier, who had to be running after white folks in every goddamn role he played. Now, this is a movie, and I mentioned this movie before. It's called No Way Out. And this is about a race war between blacks and whites. Sidney Poitier plays a position. The black people is ready to get it on and pop it. This black elite now, ready to get it on and pop it. Who quelled things down? Sidney Poitier's character. You know, some people were in it for the business and themselves. Some people were riders. And I'm with the riders. But they fought hard to be in Hollywood, not just to play roles, but to produce their own films, to get their own films shown. I remember when Sam Greenlee produced The Spook Who Sat by the Door.
Yes.
And it was removed out of theaters in 3 days. It's too radical a film. You got to get that out of here. So now when I see these British folks, you know, some Caribbean folks come over and play roles, it's immoral to me. You got to know to say, you know, these people been fighting hard and long. What about them? Because then you'll have the lineage rocking with you. We ain't rocking with you now. Now we giving you up because you're playing too many games.
Yep.
And there is a line that has been drawn in the sand. You know, Sam Jackson said it. Denzel Washington talked about it. Angela Bassett talked about it. In the music industry, Stephanie Mills said they want R&B, but they don't want it from us.
Sure, she did.
How could you not want it from the creators? That's why I wish I could get my daughter on the phone. She probably sleep now. She got to get up early too. But certain music artists, you couldn't listen to in my house. I don't care how they was popping. You're not listening to them in here. Now, when she moved out on her own, you can listen to the hell you want to. But in here, you ain't listening to it. You know, I had to ride for the lineage. I'm sorry. There are a lot of young Black American artists in music and, in film and in Broadway. I got a little cousin who stars on Broadway right now. So, fighting, you know, people with degrees and other folks from across the water being pushed to the forefront. I just had 2 graduations, one on each side of the family. One got a master's, the other got a doctorate. You know, it's going to be rough for them in this technological space. But then you're bringing in Indians. Then you're bringing in Africans. You know, this is crazy work. So that's why I say all these folks are immoral to me. But I'm going to play this clip. Then we'll come right back and we'll discuss why everybody, you know. But before I play that clip, let me play this clip because, you know, people say it's just online. You know, people graduating from college, they wait for the fad, baby. They wait for the fad. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let's get to the clip.
Promise you go with me now. Bro, stop talking like that. You ain't going to no big city. Master ain't gonna let you. I'm going with or without you. Rudy, stop talking like that. Stop. Hey, what are you niggers doing over there? We gotta get out of here. Hey, what are you doing?
And cuts. Fantastic. I need more American slave. Okay.
Like struggle.
So, yeah, the struggle. Like,
sort of like the dialogue, like the back and forth banner.
Absolutely. Yes.
See, this role was sort of a bit cheeky. I got a little bit out of my comfort zone, you know. During the filming of this role and this character, I felt oppressed, like an American slave, like a lot of struggle. I studied the art.
A fantastic turnout on the red carpet tonight. I'm just arriving. We have Samson Dubois at the American Guild Awards.
Samson, you look great tonight.
How hard was it for you to change your accent?
As a little boy from Manchester, I think, I struggled a bit with the dialect, right? But to really get the character for this quite astonishing role that I took on, to say the least, I put it all on the line.
All right, 3, 2, 1, action.
I'm telling you, nigga, if you fuck with my shit, I'll kill you, nigga. You'll be fucked up. Fuck.
Nigga, family.
Nigga, ain't no fucking family in this shit. We not family, nigga. Fuck family.
Hey, cut. That's the one.
That was stunning. That was stunning. Great performance. Great performance. Working with a good London boy, and I bother him all the time. I had a call with the director. It was quite quintessential to the role and great character development behind it.
I put this fucking bullet in your head, nigga.
I laugh because I'm penniless and a bit quite surreal. a bit quite surreal.
Samson Dubois. Samson, yo, who's the girl? What's your next movie? What's your next movie? Yo, do you think your British accent gets you all the black roles in America?
Samson, come on, bro. Are you serious, bro?
Do you think you're better than them?
Better than who, bro? Black people.
Yeah.
Stop.
You promise you go.
Shout out to Drewski.
Oh, God. Juicy killing it. He killing it. But online, people were in an uproar.
Yep.
TikTok spaces. Man. Yep. You know, you want to talk about a little bit of it, Sister Brooke? The people was pissed off, man.
You already know I do. Because a lot of their argument is, oh, well, you know, Black Americans play, you know, African roles in American movies. We're not playing your roles in your country, in your movies. As a matter of fact, what's his name that starred in Hotel Rwanda? Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle paid for that movie. Don Cheadle incurred a lot of self-expense for him and his family when he did that movie. He did the movie to bring light to a situation that he felt needed to bring light to in this country. Not to take away roles. And when y'all bring y'all happy asses over here, you are unknown, unseasoned, and a nobody. And so then you come over here so that we could make you a somebody. Our people who are what's his name? The one who played in The Godfather of Harlem. When our people play, this is the creme de la creme. These are Oscar winning, you know what I'm saying? Oscar nominated, Oscar winning actors and actresses who are playing roles in American movies to shine a light on situations that have happened across the country that they feel that is important to bring to the American market. So you cannot compare the two. You guys, you are sending us your UK rejects. Let's keep it real. You sending us the people that the UK don't even want. Now, whether that is warranted or not, that's what it is. Because if you could get roles in the UK, you wouldn't even fly over here. But it's the fact that you won't fight. And let's not forget that when the BBC award thing, whatever the hell those awards was called, when they was mad racist, who was the ones that had to fight the BBC? Us. Because y'all over there in the UK sat down, capitulated, got on your knees, you swallowed that. And you were happy to do it. Not us over here. We fought back. Thank you, Forrest Whitaker. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Tiffany. For y'all sat there and y'all swallowed that happily. And then you said, thank you. We was the ones who pushed back. We was the ones who fought that. And y'all did that against one of y'all own because Delroy is a British-born actor. Y'all didn't even fight for one of y'all own. You can't even say, oh, well, that happened to one of y'all, so we didn't really care. No. So we fought for Delroy and Michael B. Jordan. Because at this point, Delroy is one of us because he always pays homage to those who have opened the door for him to do what he's doing now, because it sure wasn't y'all. Just like y'all didn't have his back when the shit happened. So this is, and y'all want to sit here and talking about, you come over here because you guys are then we got to sit here and listen to you talk about we are better trained and we are this. No, you get the roles because when they give you the roles, they know you ain't going to do nothing but cash your small, meager check. You ain't going to open your mouth. You ain't going to fight. You ain't going to demand. You ain't going to open the door for nobody else. You're not going to do none of that. You ain't no Keenan Ivory Wayans. You ain't no you ain't no Bill Cosby. You ain't no Denzel Washington. You are none of the actors that actually fought. Shoot, you're not even Monique. These are people who fight for other Black Americans to get higher pay, roles, and all of these things. But you're going to sit there and you're going to take that check and you're going to shut your British mouth. And that is why they are giving you the roles, because they are tired of hearing our foundational Black American mouths, because they know that's what, not only that they're going to hear, but they're going to feel that wrath of a foundational Black Americans if you come and look what just happened with Taraji. Y'all sit here and and y'all are trying to shut her up. But she can't shut up. She can't even do it. She's trying. That's the crazy part about it. She want to shut up because she knows she needs the jobs, but she can't. That foundational Black American blood is just boiling inside of her. And she keeps exploding about the situation, even though she's trying hard to shut her mouth, but she just can't do it because she know it ain't right. But you know who can? Y'all Brits. So we are tired of you coming over here, taking, and not giving anything back, and then having the nerve to fix your mouth and say that the reason why you got the role is because you are better. You are not. And I'll end there.
Drop the bomb, Sister Keisha. Drop the bomb. There's so many points, and I wanted to jump in, but I said, let me let her fly her plane. You know.
I appreciate you.
But no, you hit so many dope points, and I think that's why Drewski skit was so powerful, because the negative image that he was portraying, like in the car, because these gangster movies, and I'll be honest with you, like I've been in the streets for a major part of my life, you know,
right?
That gangsters and gang members are portrayed in these movies and television. We know not only is it dramatization, it's exaggeration, but it perpetuates the stereotype that we are violent killers, and you know, not saying things don't go on in the hood. I'm not negating that, but the way they exaggerate it and constantly portray us in those roles, it's more damaging to our image than it is uplifting. And they understand because we know about the Cosby phenomenon with, you know, with the Cosby Show and A Different World, how that encouraged so many young Black people to enroll in college and pursue their education. Because
that's right.
If you don't see something, you know what I'm saying? But if you see it, you know you could be it. So they don't want us to be doctors and lawyers and educators and people of power and prestige, because they see what it looked like after our emancipation. They saw what Black people can do if you leave us alone. And they said, hold up. Remember, this thing is called a race. A race is a competition. The competition,
right,
control and resources. So they said, if we leave these people alone, man, they're going to leave us in the dust. They don't mind if we leave them in the dust in sports. But in economic arenas and developing communities and just society, social norms, they don't want that, because they want to practice their deviance. So they have to crush us. They have to crush the morale. They have to control the image that we're the degenerates, so they don't look as bad as they actually are, you know? But you was hitting so many points, sis.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's one I missed, though, about them taking roles that make us look bad. That's another thing, because we will be like you said, Esther Rose, I want a husband. But they'll sit there and do that. Oh, you want me to be a crack addict and look crazy? I will do it. I will. Like, we tired. And see, let's talk about this movie they got coming out right now. God is God, or is God God? I don't know what the hell the name of it, because I ain't going to see the shit. Okay, I don't know what I don't know.
Vivica Fox movie.
And here's the thing, Vivica. And all of the, and here's the thing, to Vivica and all the Sterling K, all the foundational Black Americans that's capitulating for a job, you gonna be broke. Cause me, I'm not supporting you. I don't care. I don't care how many, you know what I'm saying, people y'all get. I'm not supporting a movie where I'm sick of seeing the same thing. Y'all better get y'all pennies together and start making your own movies. Or where you're going to keep being in movies that are going to be box office flops. Okay? Box office flops. We don't want to see it. And if we don't co-sign it, nobody's gonna co-sign it. You hear me? Because look at Jafar. Jafar is over, you know what I'm saying? That Michael Jackson movie, that's what we want to see. And because we want to see it and we co-signed it, that movie is breaking records all over the world. It is #1 all over the world. People are going to see that movie over and over and over and over again. But you ain't learned from The Color Purple that we don't want to see this shit no more. You didn't learn from the Whitney Houston movie that we don't want to see you faking jacks and playing us in movies no more. You didn't learn from the flop of Harriet Tubman that we don't want to see your bullshit anymore. You didn't learn. So we're going to keep teaching you with your pockets. So Sterling K, you better go back to paradise. Okay, boo-boo? You better go back to playing in All Is the Family or whatever the hell that show was. You better go back. Because if you keep playing in this garbage, you're going to be persona non grata along with the rest of these tethers. And I don't really like to use that word too much, but look, I'm sick of it.
I do, so I'll jump in right there. Oh, go ahead, brother Ted.
No, I was gonna say something. I was gonna say, and I'm gonna pass the mic to you. I'm gonna make this brief. It's funny, when I was in my former frame of mind, in FBA, Foundational Black Americans, were talking about Brits and other non-FBA taking movie roles. The circle I was in, the cipher I was in, my little social group was like, oh man, people are picking because we all black. But of course, as you learn more, your mind changed, your position changed, and you learn things. And I realized it ain't just about, quote unquote, the blackness. It's about the cultural integrity of what these things are supposed to represent. I just wanted to put that right out there. I didn't want to go on a long diatribe because we got about 12 minutes. So, Brother Divine, the floor is yours, bro.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to go fast. So there's so much I want to say here, but I know she got a hard out, so I'm gonna respect it. But I wanted to just say to the troll in the chat, yes, we see you. We see you cooning and we see you tethering, whichever one you choose to be, and that's okay. Another thing that he said, or both. Another thing he said that I want to make sure we address, because this is a common tactic when we start these conversations and topics where we start to have to check and regulate.
Get him, Divine.
The elephant in the room is not the white supremacists. The elephant in the room is exactly who we're talking about.
You, nigga.
You're talking about, you want us to focus on the ringmaster. But before I can get to the ringmaster, I got to clear all you motherfucking clowns out first. Because if I go after the ringmaster first, all of y'all going to jump out the motherfucking car and jump on my back while I'm trying to get the ringmaster. So I got to air the circus out first. So we're getting rid of all of the tethers, all of the coons, all of the underlings of the ringmaster before we take them down. Because if we don't, like they said in the Matrix, anybody that is not unplugged is an agent of the system as well. And you, my brother, and I say that loosely, are acting as one of the individuals that's not unplugged yet. Because if you still can't see that we have to regulate in the areas that we're regulating so we can move up and move forward to the ultimate regulation, then we can't help you. But we also don't need you coming over here to hurt us because you can't help us either. So I want to make sure I say that.
Yeah. And ignore him for the rest of the time. Because you see, I've been ignoring him. Yeah, ignore him because we only got a couple more minutes. We ain't gonna let him divert us.
I just want to,
because that's what they come in here to do. That's what they come in. They come in here to divert the conversation from what we already have, and then to show us about what they want it to be. Fuck them.
Right. And I want to say this real quick, and I'm gonna pass the mic back to Brother Divine. It's funny how people always say we need to talk about the white supremacists. But if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can't hurt us. So what we do here is deal with the enemy inside. The enemy is always going to be the enemy, but you can't come in here like you down with us, because son said the FBA. Hard to tell. Your position is twisted.
He's still a coon.
White people, let me say this, and I reiterate this time and time again. I don't know where y'all from. When I was coming up, we caught wreck on white people. You don't know what that means? I mean recreation. dug pockets. We really played the knockout game. Only ones who gave us a challenge was the police. That's it. When people keep talking about, what about the white supremacists? You make them sound like the boogeyman. When we see time and time again in real time on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, we see they straight cowards. In fact, I watched a video today on Instagram. This dude got in his brother's face. He had the little buzz cut, little military gear. Homie washed him. Homie washed him on the train. He called him what did he call him? A mass transit tough guy. That's what he's telling the brother. Like, brother's like, yo, told the guy, get off his stop. Brother got off and washed him. I mean, we see these people getting washed all the time. What you say, F around and find out. These people aren't the boogeyman. So when people come in here, what about the white supremacists? That's a cop-out. I'm going to deal with the person that's within arm's length. I'm not going to try to fight a dude halfway across the country. I'm going to fight the dude that's selling me out right next to me. So please, please, please stay off of here with that. We talking real shit we can do something about. We can't do nothing about dudes in West Virginia. So yeah, Brother Divine.
Word, and just to that point as well, this was years ago now when the white supremacists used to come through to the hood and run them pranks. They came out here to Coney Island, and that dude almost lost his life playing out here. Yeah. And he never came back again and never went to another hood. So they not like you just said. I just wanted to co-sign that. But also to what you're talking about, and I said this before on this platform, I'd rather go to war with a known enemy than somebody that I thought was my friend. And that's what you see what's going on right now. I don't got to worry about the white supremacists because I already know what they're going to do. I already know where I stand. But if I'm standing next to somebody like Step and Fetch It, and he's talking about we fighting for roles, and I find out that Step and Fetch It was really a Caribbean that played that stereotype of us at the time and made millions, while Hattie McDaniel's Oscar after her death was appraised at no value, then what we talking about? And the equivalent, I think Sister Brooke touched on this, but I want to drive this home. The equivalent is not foundational Black Americans playing continental Africans or Afro-Caribbeans in American movies. The equivalent would be me immigrating to Nigeria, trying to break into Nollywood by playing Nigerian roles over qualified Nigerian actors. When that starts to happen, then it's equal. Then it's a whataboutism. Until then, you are still coming here if we want to get into a role, we playing a white person. That is still our role to play in this country, like the Wayans brothers. They play two white women's. That's an American role. Not a role for everybody, not a role for me, but a role that was played. Y'all got to understand the difference. There's a sense of entitlement that you come into this country with, believing that because you have melanin, you have an entitlement to the foundational Black American roles that we fought for. And that's what we're pointing out. That level of entitlement is dangerous because it doesn't remain situated or closed off into that one area. That concept of, oh yeah, we're just more classically trained is the same one as y'all are just lazy, which is the same one as y'all just complain about racism too much. Is the same one as y'all are just criminals, which leads to stay away from the Akata, which lends itself for them to be elevated to become gatekeepers of our political reality and our social groups. And then they get to undermine us like we saw what was happening when we went to Albany yesterday.
Thank you. That's because I'm like, we got 5 minutes. Get to what came at us.
So let's get to what's really going on with why we point this out. Because they're being purposely elevated. And if we give them a pass and take our eye off them, they can continue to gain more power and more power until it's not just a foothold, it becomes a stronghold. And we are literally on the brink of that, where outside groups are being able to dictate and control every area of living. Like we say and point out with the white supremacists, all areas of interaction that they control, we're starting to see that they're placing Afro-immigrant groups into those positions. because they are easier to get along with. They do not buck the system as a whole. We got riders here and there. We got exceptions to the rule, but most, just by and large, that's what they say. That's why they prefer them. That's why they always have preferred them. Pan-Africanism convinced us that we're all the same based on melanin. Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, the names are countless.
Emails.
That I've talked about that.
Emails.
So yeah, and that. So I'll defer to you on that, so you can go right into it.
Sorry, she said she got a hard stop at 10 o'clock. We can't be wasting too much time on him when we got real work to do. So, as he was talking about, we went to Albany yesterday, and our bill, our delineation disaggregation bill, is being held up in the Senate, in the Finance Committee. We need this bill to be pushed through. We have to lean on our Senator Sanders to push this bill through. So not only are we going to send emails to Senator Sanders, who is the author of the bill, right? We are going to send emails to Senator Sanders so that he can lean on Senator Kruger to push the bill forward and bring it for a vote, right? And so we are also going to send, so there are 4 extra emails to send now when you go to that site, right? So you're going to send an email to Senator Sanders so that he can put pressure on Kruger. Then you're going to send an email to Liz Kruger, to her, so that she can bring the bill for a vote. Then you're going to send an email to Assemblywoman Stacey Pfeiffer Amato. She is the Assemblywoman in James Sanders' district, so that she can press her senator to push this bill through. Then you're going to send an email and also for her to vote yes on our bill, because she is not a sponsor or a co-sponsor on our delineation and disaggregation bill. So if she's not going to sponsor it, then you're going to send an email to lean on her to vote yes, right? Then you're going to send an email to Assembly Member Khalil, who is a co-sponsor. So we love him so much for that. But we also need him to put a foot to, James Sanders and try to step on the gas on why he is not putting pressure on Kruger to bring this bill for a vote so that it does not get stuck in the Finance Committee. We have 3 weeks left. 3 weeks left in this legislative session. And like I told you guys before, we are going to manifest this bill to be passed this legislative session, because they already have done this for the MENA. They have already done this for the AAPI. And what we need, President Devine, can I talk about that part about AAPI and the MENA?
Yes.
Okay, so we have already gotten a letter of support from the AAPI, right? And they are willing to align with us on this, okay? And so with that letter of support, if we get out, when, because it already has passed, you have to speak things as not as though they are, right? So when we get this bill passed, we can then align. We already have the alignment already, but now we can work together with the AAPI to actually get, because what we have seen, that even though they got their bill passed, it has not been brought forth. The paperwork and things have not been changed, but now we can work together. Our 2 groups together can work together to get the actual paperwork changed. So that is why it is so important that this happens this legislative session, right? We cannot wait no, it got to be now. So you guys have sent, I want to thank the family, because I want you to understand that you guys have already sent over 500,000 emails to our legislators. That is something to be commended. Since I started this email campaign, we got 265,000. Sorry, you're right. 250,000. We have 265,000 emails sent between all 5 emails. And I really appreciate y'all. But it's crunch time right now. Now it is 3 weeks left. I need you to go harder, especially with those first 4 emails. I need you to send those multiple times a day. I need you to send those every single day. I need you to share this link with everybody. And you know, like I said, I'll make it look prettier, but I was up to the wire because we didn't. Child, me and President Divine didn't get home till this morning, okay? And I had to go to work. Like, so I came from that, went to work, was trying to do this while I'm working, and then we here on the bridge. So we tired, okay? So help us out. And I also want to thank the family because as we traveled up to Albany, our champion assemblywoman, Nikki Lucas, and I'm working on getting a donation link for her so people can donate to her campaign. Our champion assemblywoman, Nikki Lucas, she found a van, a very nice van for us, a very, very nice van for us to rent to drive up there. But we still had to pay for gas and we still had to pay for tolls. And do you know who paid that? Y'all did. And I appreciate y'all so much. With the cash apps that y'all sent me, not only was I able to pay for the gas to go up there, to pay for the tolls to go up there and back, I was also able to, you know, all of the volunteers that came with us, the U.S. Freedmen Project members, I was able to get them, you know, donuts and coffee, and you understand what I'm saying? And nobody had to spend any more money to come because of the donations that you guys have sent me, because I don't hoard it all. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure that everybody is taken care of when we are doing these things, because that is what y'all send it for. So I thank y'all so much. And just remember, send these emails. We got 3 weeks. I need us to step on the gas. So send these emails, send these emails, send these emails. I appreciate y'all so much. Continue doing it because we're going to manifest it so this legislative session. Shit, I'm 2 minutes over.
Don't worry about it, sis. Don't worry about it. I tell you, take your time. Take your time.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
This is important and it's key. So the link is highlighted in the chat for everybody. Just log on. Send it about 10 times before you go to bed tonight.
Right.
You send another 10 times. That's how we moving over here. So
yeah,
I was testing it while she was talking. You know what I mean? So
and it's the same quick thing, same pre-written, same everything. Just click, 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 click. You know, we're gonna make it as easy for the family as possible. Just do it. Please do it, because we're not gonna let this get stuck in this finance committee, and it's not gonna happen. We are going to push it forward with all of our foundational Black American might. And to those who sit there, you want to pop shit and you ain't even sent an email. How dare you bring your narrow ass into my comments and talk shit and about what we doing and not doing, and you have not sent one email? How long have I had this email letter writing campaign and you ain't sent one email? If you don't shut your ass up and send these emails and get the fuck out my chat. Thank you. Since you wanted attention so badly.
Don't forget, family, the link is highlighted in the chat. Make sure you click it. Send it about 10 times before you go to bed tonight. We definitely appreciate you. And share it with your family and friends. Let's get this popping. Let's make this law. Because once we make it law, reparations is right behind it. You understand how we move?
And the hate crime bill as well.
I want to personally thank the U.S. Freedmen Project for being not only our advocate, but our lobby upstate New York. They are a true lobby for us. So if you can, when you go to usfreemanproject.org, hit the donation button, or you can send it to Sister Brooke as well. And we'll make sure those funds are used and used properly, because it costs a lot of money to travel back and forth upstate, to go to all of these hearings, to meet with all these legislators. It takes time, it takes money, and freedom ain't free. So with that, I bid y'all a good night. Till next week, we are back here on the Brooklyn Bridge. Stay up, stay blessed, stay true, like my brother said. Good night, y'all. We are out.
On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voices strong, knowledge tight. Thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From brother Tad to sister K, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcy brings the heat, brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Thursday nights the world will see Black Power media on a spree. Facebook, YouTube all aligned, breaking free from every bind. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves,